Hi, welcome to day 24 of getting off to a great start. So today I'm talking about sharing the hope of Premier with others. I want you to think for just a minute, where would you be today if someone had not shared Premier with you? Well, let me tell you where I'd be. If someone hadn't shared Premier with me, then I wouldn't be a stay-at-home mom, getting to spend quality time with my little boy and still making full-time income for our family. I also wouldn't have got to go on a 7-day Caribbean cruise for free with my little boy and my husband last April. None of these things would be possible if someone had not shared Premier with me. So it is my job and it is your job to turn around and pass on the blessing. So how do you share Premier? Well, first of all, it starts with relationships. You have to build relationships. This company is all about relationships and keeping it personal. So when we're sharing Premier, we need to keep that same philosophy. We are shares women, not salesmen. It's our job to share it, not sell it. So you share it and let God do the rest. You don't pick who joins Premier. God does. You share it with everyone and you let Him water and grow that seed. It's just your job to share it. So how do we share it? You want to make sure you're having consistent jewelry shows each month. Whatever that number is for you and how many jewelry shows you do each month, that's your choice, and it's all about what your family needs. But whatever that number is for your need, make sure that it's consistent. If you're consistent in this business, you will be successful. So at the jewelry show, one way that I share Premier at my jewelry show is my sponsoring activity. My sponsoring activity is big money. Y'all saw me do the big money game in my last video. So if you forgot, go back and watch that. And make sure you practice it before you do it in front of others. And the other thing that I do at my jewelry show is the after party. So after I do the big money game, I'll go around and I'll pass out the tickets for my after party. And I will invite them to stay for just 5 minutes extra after my presentation while everyone else goes shopping and starts eating and hanging out to learn a little bit more about Premier. And I will go through those 6 quick points in my dream job folder. And inside this folder is my after party. So at the end of the show, I do my after party. I go through the fact that we make 50%. The fact that the average show is $500, so we get paid on the spot that night, making $250 in our pocket. I tell them about all the free jewelry we earn and the 10% commission we get from our downline that Premier pays us. I tell them how they can get started, that it's just $3.95 to start their own business and become an independent distributor through Premier. The 6th point is once they become a jeweler, their Premier mom, you, will be doing their training show for them. Their very first show is their kickoff show, and they get to make all the profit from that show while just sitting back and watching you do all the work. And they get all the free jewelry from that kickoff show. The biggest thing about that is making sure you follow up. So if you had someone stay for the after party and they wrote on their after party ticket that they would like to meet for coffee, call them and make sure you actually meet with them for coffee. It's all in the follow-up. Always set a date in your calendar for when you're going to follow up with people and when you're going to meet with them to tell them more. So when you meet with them to tell them more, this is what you're going to do. First of all, you're not going to start with Premier. You're going to start with them and their life. You're going to build that relationship and make that connection. When I meet with someone, I'll ask them a little bit about their family. I'll ask them what their husband does. I'll ask them, what are your dreams? So how would Premier be a blessing in your life? Then you will have an idea of how Premier can fit a need in their life. If you just go straight into throwing up Premier all over them, then you don't know what it is that they need and you could miss the whole point. For instance, if they need Premier for the financial increase and you are just talking about jewelry, well, they might not care a lick about jewelry. Maybe they don't even wear jewelry. There are so many women in Premier that used to never wear jewelry, but they joined Premier because of other reasons. So if that's not your person's reason, then if you focus on the jewelry, you're going to miss your opportunity. Maybe it's someone who doesn't need the financial income. Maybe they just want all the jewelry. Or maybe they just need friendships. Maybe they just need hope. Get to know your prospect. After you've got to know them a little bit and you've started building that connection, building that relationship, find ways that you can relate to them. Anytime that you're able to relate to someone, it gives you more relatability and believability. So, you know us women, if we find something in common with another woman, then we feel so much closer to them and we feel like soul sisters. So find something in common with them that you can relate to. You're going to tell them whatever reason you think Premier would be good for them. And then you're going to say, so let me tell you just a little bit about Premier and the basics. And then let's get down to how it can meet a need in your life, okay? So then I have my little folder, and it kind of helps keep me on track. Premier was founded in 1985, founded on biblical principles and Christian values, and it's been debt-free from day one, so you know they're going to be around forever. We as jewelers make 50% profit of everything we sell, and we get paid that from day one. We don't have to work up to it. We have 0 sales quotas. There's nothing you have to do in Premier. Just do what your family needs, as little or as much as that is. It's about you. Premier is here to serve you. So there's no quotas, so no pressure. One thing that keeps our business going is our hostess plan. Our hostesses get 30% of their show's total retail value and free jewelry of their choice, and up to 8 items at half price. We have the best hostess plan in the industry, so there's always going to be someone to host a party for you because there's always someone that loves free jewelry. And we have a generous golden guarantee. And this also keeps our business going. If someone ever has a problem with their jewelry, Premier replaces it for them. And we can offer that to them at no cost to us. We also have a generous commission plan. We make 10% from our downlines. That doesn't come out of their commission. Premier pays us that 10% from what they make. So then I will ask them, I'll say, so what are your questions so far? And they'll say, so how much does it cost to get started? Then I'll go into the money side of it. I always leave that for last because I don't want them to shut off their minds to what I have to say after I say $475 and $395, because if you do that, then they're going to shut it off and they're not going to hear anything else you have to say. So share the heart stuff first, build the relationship, open up their minds, and then leave that for last. So then I will say, okay, girl, so it is $395 to get started. It comes with everything you need to have a successful business, all your brochures, catalogs, etc. It comes with tons of tax benefits, so you get to write off everything you do for your business. With that $395, we become an independent distributor, meaning we have 0 sales quotas. So that's great. Also, you're gonna want some jewelry to be able to get started. So Premier has come up with something called the Premier Designs Boutique, and it is a $1,400 value. $1,300 value of our best-selling, most versatile pieces of jewelry. Over 30 pieces of jewelry. It's like a tax-deductible jewelry box. And it comes with over $100 of displays. A jewelry bag, a ring sizer, table runner that says Premier Designs on it, and everything you could possibly need to have a successful start in this business. It's about a $900 investment to get started, if you get the boutique with that as well. And I know that sounds like a chunk of money. I know a lot of us don't just have that in our pocket. I know I didn't when I started Premier. Here's a side note. You want to use the Feel, Felt, Found method, okay? And don't do this if you don't mean it. It should still come from the heart, but it is a method. and it's tried and true. I know how you feel. I felt that way too, but this is what I found. So when they say, oh, that is a little pricey, you're gonna say, I know how you feel and this is my story. When I started Premier over 3 years ago, my husband and I were newlyweds and we were so broke, that's why I needed Premier. So that $900 investment sounded way too much for me, and I knew that was gonna be impossible for us. However, what I found is that Premier had this amazing rewards card. It's just a little credit card that you can apply for through Premier. And the great thing is it can only be used through Premier. So you just put your initial investment on that rewards card, and within your first few shows, you'll have that card paid off and you'll be home free. And you'll never be 1 penny out of pocket because you wouldn't have had that money from those shows anyway if you don't start. So the money you make from those first few shows, use it to pay off your card, and then you're home free, making the money, 50% profit, and you've got all of that jewelry now that you have earned, and it's tax deductible. I also have in here a picture of what comes in the boutique, and you are gonna bring it to a conclusion. You're not just gonna give them all the information and leave. If they can't come to a conclusion, then you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna call you in 2 days, talk it over with your husband, pray about it, see if it's God's will for your life. And then watch this little video with your husband, and I send them a video. And then I say, I will call you in 2 days. And I put a date, a time in my calendar when I'm gonna call them. Make sure you follow up. However, if they do come to a conclusion, you're gonna say, so what do you think? Just tell me kind of on a level of 1 to 10, what's your interest level in hearing more about Premier? 1 being you're just not interested at all. 10 being you're ready to start now. Where are you? And you're just gonna begin overcoming their objections. So you're gonna say, why are you at a 7 and not a 10? And they're gonna say something like, well, I just don't really have time. You're gonna say, well, that's why Premier is great for you, because we have 0 sales quotas. So you do Premier on your own time. Whenever you can find time, you just fit Premier around your life. You get to make your own hours, so you don't have to run on anyone else's time. Okay, so now where are you at? Are you at a 10 now? And if they say, oh, yeah, that helps a lot. I'm at like a 8. You're gonna say, so what's got you at an 8 and not a 10? And they'll say, well, that $900 and something really is a chunk of money. And then you're gonna overcome that objection. You're gonna say, I know how you feel. It is a big chunk of money. And I felt that same way. But remember, we have that Jeweler's Rewards card, and you don't have to have a penny of that out of pocket. We just apply for that card, and after your first few shows, you'll just be able to pay that card right off. And if they are still not a 10, that's when you're going to send them on their way. Pick a time right then and there, write it in your calendar where you are going to call them within 2 days, follow up, and see where they're at. Take her answer, and you're going to let God handle the rest. If she signs up, then great. If she doesn't, then maybe it's just not God's will for her to be on our team right now. But no does not always mean no forever. Keep that in mind. She may be a no now, but seasons in our life change all the time. So always follow up, keep in close contact, and share with everyone that God lays on your heart. Pray that He would put people into your life that you can share Premier with. People that need Premier. If you will pray and put God first in your business, He is going to bless it. And before you know it, you are going to be Joan's rookie team, which is 2 in your first level. Then you will become a builder, which is 4. And then after you become a builder, you're going to sponsor just 3 more and become a designer, where you have 7 total jewelers in your first level downline, and you will get to go on our amazing designer cruises, Disney trip, and God has so much in store for you. Believe in yourself, believe in the plan that He has for your life, and know that He put Premier in your life for a reason.